Hey, beautiful people, how you guys doing here on TikTok? I'm gonna go ahead and go live here on Instagram as well. And for some reason, this thing is not working. But I'm super happy to be here on TikTok. I'm excited. I guess I'll just have to go live on Instagram afterwards. But I just came on. My name is Natalie Lee Martin, business clarity coach, business life coach, and I am here on TikTok. Excited to introduce my live event, 25 Days of Vision and Victory for Entrepreneurs. This is going to be an exciting 25 days. It's something that I put together based on the Advent calendar. And I decided to just walk through this process with entrepreneurs, with business owners who are excited about doing business God's way. And so Christmas time is a very important time for us as Christians, a very important time for those people who ascribe to Christianity as their religion. And so I wanted to merge that faith with entrepreneurship that I often do in my business and create an Advent calendar for business owners and for entrepreneurs. And so over the next 25 days, I'll be going live here on, I'll be going live here on TikTok. And I'll be coming live. I'm not sure what time every single day. I'm going to try to be here at 8 a.m. every single day here on TikTok. And then I'm going to be 9 a.m. on Instagram and Facebook. But I wanted to come on here and to share just, because I have this love and desire to help entrepreneurs really win big in business and in life. And so I have decided that, you know what? Natalie, sharing your expertise, sharing your wisdom, sharing, hey Marianne, hey Roberta, hey Minister Deborah, hey Suki, hey you guys, welcome. I'm going to be coming on here every single day at 8 a.m. except for Sundays, okay? Sundays is not going to be 8 a.m. because your girl got to go to church early. But every single morning at 8 a.m. from today until December 25th, yes, I'll be here on Christmas morning at 8 a.m. as well, encouraging entrepreneurs. We're going to have an Advent calendar for businesses, and I'm going to come on here live, and I'm going to share from my experience and from my expertise working with entrepreneurs, working as an educator in business, working as an educator, a certified life coach, the experiences that I have, even with my own faith, right? And how that has really helped me to have longevity in business. As we know, it takes faith to start a business. It takes faith to grow a business. It takes faith to continue in business. And especially around this time, it just seems like it's getting darker. Things are getting harder. We're ending Q4, getting ready to start a new year, and we're wrapping up and we're looking at all the things that we've done well, all the things that didn't work well. And sometimes the momentum can slow down. So in order for us to keep that momentum and to keep going, I'm going to be coming on here live with y'all for the next 25 days. Again, on TikTok, it's going to be here at 8 a.m. And on Instagram and Facebook, it's going to be at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm super excited. And today, very quickly, I'm just going to be sharing the importance of having a big vision, right? When you are building out your business, I believe it was Simon Sinek. It is Simon Sinek, the author of Start With Why. He's an amazing entrepreneur, amazing business owner, and a phenomenal speaker. He talks about the importance of having a big vision. And those companies, even when they are small and they have a big vision, they can propel themselves into multi-million-dollar status. It is really companies where they get really big and their vision begins to decrease. That's when they start to see their profits also follow as well. So if you are intending to grow your business to a multi-million-dollar level, you have to start with a big vision. It is super important to think outside of the box that you have been given, right? Sometimes we come into entrepreneurship and we're given these set of rules and given these set of systems. And yes, the basic fundamental things need to be established, right? However, we need to recognize, just like Netflix did it, just like Uber did it, just like Amazon did it, we have to start thinking bigger, start thinking outside the box. I don't know if you guys knew, but Netflix went to Blockbuster and said, hey, we have this particular idea. Do you want to collaborate? And Blockbuster said, absolutely not. We don't want that, because where we are right now is phenomenal. We're doing fantastic. We're doing wonderful. And Netflix, although they were small at the time, their vision was so huge that they surpassed and even took over the industry from Blockbuster. There is no more Blockbusters. I think it's just one maybe in the country, but that's it, right? They went bankrupt, okay? And so, hey, how y'all doing? So glad to have you guys here with me today. So the importance of having a big vision, that's where we're starting this December 1st, this Advent calendar, is we are preparing ourselves for 2025 to be the year of big vision. Right? We are preparing and getting ready to have the most impactful year of our lives. And we're not waiting for January 1st to do that. We're not waiting to have that, what everybody else is saying, new year, new me, to start that. We're starting that now. We can create the momentum that our businesses desire today. One decision. And the one decision that you can make today to create momentum in your business is say, I'm going to dare to dream bigger. That's the one thing that you can do today to create momentum in your business, is decide, I am going to dare to dream bigger. To grow your business into a big business, you must become obsessed with a big vision. You must become obsessed with a vision that when I say big, you do not have the resources, you do not currently have the people, you do not currently have the capital to today fulfill that vision today. But you have a dream, you have a desire, you have a destination. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to big vision. And again, Simon Sinek said the reason why companies grow to such a magnitude is that they are obsessed with their big vision. So I want you to think about any company, like I said before, Amazon, Zoom, even TikTok, right? TikTok is a company. Let's keep it 100. TikTok is a business. Okay? And in order for it to get to the level that it's right now, they had to be obsessed with a big vision. And they had to be obsessed to the point where they're like, I will see this thing come to pass. So much so that they've already seen it first. I remember a story I heard about Walt Disney, right? Walt Disney, of course, you guys, Walt Disney created Disney World, Disneyland, Epcot Center, all of that. And they were talking about Space Mountain. They were opening up for Space Mountain, right? So they had the Space Mountain reveal. And in the story, I heard that one of the chief engineers came and they spoke and they were like, oh my God, we're so excited to be opening up Space Mountain. We wish that Walt was here because he had passed away prior to the opening of Space Mountain. And if Walt was here, he would have been so excited to see this thing come to pass. And then his late wife comes up and said, I'm glad that everybody's super excited. I'm glad for what you guys are saying. But let me tell you something. Walt already saw this vision come to pass. Walt already saw this thing come to pass. Walt Disney saw this in his mind first before he actually saw this. So you're now getting to see this for the first time, but Walt already saw it. That's the type of attitude that we need to have. That's what we need to embody when we're trying to create these businesses. We need to embody the big vision where when we close our eyes and we see it, it's as if it's already there. And so when you open up your eyes, your mind is trying to figure out, or your mind is trying to connect what you've seen in your vision in real life. So opportunities begin to open up because you see it. And one thing about your brain, if you've ever done any research on the brain, I love Dr. Caroline Leaf. If you know about her, she is amazing. Hey, Divalicious. Hey, Bridges. Hey, you guys. So happy to have you guys join on tonight. Listen, One thing I love about Dr. Caroline Leaf, she is amazing scientist. She's also a Christian, so she connects God with science, and there is no differentiation between the two. Like, science is the proof of God being in existence, right? And so she talks about these mental images that we have in our mind. Your mind does not know the difference between the mental vision that you're having while your eyes is closed and what it sees when your eyes is open. So a lot of us, we are having the issue of, oh my God, my circumstances is not matching up to the vision that I see in my mind. And that's because we're not closing our eyes enough. We're not spending enough time in the vision, because the more you spend time with your vision, the more you'll start seeing opportunities open up, doors open up to pursue the right path for you to get to the vision. But you have to be obsessed with the vision. You have to sit with the vision. You have to write it out and make it plain, like Habakkuk 2:2 says. You got to make sure that you're constantly revisiting this thing. You're constantly retelling the story of the vision. You're constantly letting people know that this is what I see. This is what I see. By the end of the decade, my vision for me, by the end of the decade, is for myself as well as anybody in my community to leave the decade as a millionaire. So if you are building with me, alongside of me, if you are in my company, if you are in my academy, by the end of the decade, we are walking out as millionaires. By the end of the decade, that is my vision. What is your vision? What is your vision for yourself? What is the vision for your company? What is the vision for your people? What is the vision for your family? And having an audacious vision, something that is big, that you're like, man, there is no way possible that I can by myself become a millionaire by the end of the decade, but with God. Luke 1:37, absolutely nothing is impossible. Absolutely nothing is impossible, especially if God gave you a word to say, this is what's going to happen. This is where you're going to be. This is how things going to be like. Then you have something solid and foundational to hold on to. His word it's never changing. It will always remain the same. So take some time as you're going through this month, as I come on here every morning at 8 o'clock, except on Sundays. Sundays, we're going to figure out what time we need to be here. It's definitely going to be in the evenings. But as we come here every day, I want you to remember the vision. What is it? What are you holding on to? What are you obsessed with? It's not just the day in and day out. It's not just the intricate details. It's the destination, the big picture. What are you so obsessed with that you're like, I cannot leave this earth until this thing is complete, until I see this thing in my mind, in real life, I cannot leave. I gotta make sure that it comes to pass. Listen, Walt Disney was so obsessed with the vision that when he died, other people kept on doing it. He was so obsessed with his vision that even after he died, other people kept on building. That's how obsessed we got to be with this vision. That's how articulate and clear we got to be with the vision, so that even after we decide, you know what, either I pass away or I'm done, somebody else is going to be like, no, we got to continue this thing. We got to consistently continue to build, because this is bigger than me now. This is bigger than just my imagination at this point, right? So that's where we got to get obsessed with our vision. Now, I'm about to give you 7 reasons why having a big vision is so important for you and your business. And in 2025, this is going to be the anchor for you as you move forward in your business. That's why we started with big vision first, right? Number 1, a big vision forces you to grow exponentially. Now, if you know anything about exponential growth, I am a former math teacher here. So I have a degree in math, a Bachelor of Science in Math, and a Master's of Education curriculum, with math being my minor. So I'm very well acquainted with mathematics. And exponents, right? They grow in the beginning very slowly. It looks like if you get real close up to the graph of an exponential increase, it looks like a straight line. And a straight line is a flat line, right? And a flat line is something that's dead. When we had flat straight lines in math, the slope of the line is zero. That means there's no growth. Okay, nothing is happening when the line is flat. But when it comes to exponential growth, if you look closely at the beginning of an exponential graph, it looks like a flat line. It looks like there is no growth. But there's a certain point that you hit. When you hit that point, it might be the third, the fourth, the fifth, right? It begins to grow so quickly that it looks like a straight line going up. It looks like what you call that, a suddenly. It looks like a quantum leap, as some other people would use, right? But that's what exponential is. The growth looks very slow in the beginning, but once you hit a certain point, the momentum propels you to grow so quickly. That's what a big vision will force you to do. It will force you to grow exponentially. So in the beginning, you may not know nothing about the industry that you find yourself in. Like me, I found myself in the business industry because God called me to it in 2020. And I said, okay, I'm finally going to relinquish and I'm going to answer the call. Hey, y'all. So happy y'all are here tonight. And when I answered the call, I was like, yes, I'm doing this. God said I'm going to be great at this. It's going to be amazing. And then I find myself in an industry that I know nothing about, being taken advantage of, being used. I'm spending money, tens of thousands of dollars and not getting any results. But what that did for me, it allowed me to grow exponentially. It allowed me to start really small and be like crawling. And I mean, my first year in business, I wouldn't tell y'all how much I made. Should I tell y'all? Okay, I'm going to tell y'all. Hey, y'all. I made $100 that first year. Thank God I still had a full-time job. I put out offers all year long. And finally, at the end of the year, one person bought. One person. And I said, well, I'm shutting down this business. And I sure did. But when you do something with God, when he intends for you to succeed, that's it. Shut down my business, y'all. Because I was like $100. Come on now. I can't even file that on my taxes. And I shut it down for the entire month of December. This was December of 2021, right? So God called me to start my business in 2020. I officially started in January of 2021, made my first $100 sale in December of 2020. My first sale, let me be clear, my first sale on my own. So I had contracts with other people, but that was my very first sale on my own. Like I put something out in the market and somebody finally bought it. I was like, wow, $100. And so I shut down the business for that entire month of December, and it forced me to go within. It forced me to figure out, what is it that I'm doing that is so wrong? Because I know God called me to this. I know he doesn't call anybody to fail. I know what he told me. He is never wrong. What's going on? I know I'm the problem. And that was a fantastic a wonderful revelation to know that I was the problem in my business. So as the problem in my business, I had control of what I needed to change, what I needed to fix, what I needed to get rid of and implement better. And I went in that month and I was like, it took an entire month, y'all, for me to get clarity. It took an entire month for me to get clarity. But once I emerged, let me tell you, 3 months later, I had my first $3,000 day. 3 months later, I had a $3,000 day. I went from a $99 year to a $3,000 day. That's what having a big vision will do. It will force you to grow exponentially. And you're going to see it in the response of your finance, the results of your finances. Because listen, we're in business to make money, right? And I don't mean we're in business because we just want money, but profit is part of being in business. Or else we would have a nonprofit, or else we would have a hobby, or else we would have a ministry, right? If you have decided, and if God has called you to business, profit is part of being in business. So we can't say, oh, it's not about the money. Yes, the money is a measurement of how well we're doing in business. So we got to look at the finances. We have to look at the monetary results. That's what having a big vision will force you to do. It will allow you to grow exponentially. Part of that growth is recognizing that profits is part of business. You cannot have a business and not look at the profit. That's part of being in business. All right, number 2, a big vision allows you to come up with creative solutions despite a lack of capital. Money don't stop no show. Hey, not having money does not stop the business. Did you know that Amazon was in the red, I believe, for the first 10 years? Being in the red means they losing money. And I remember him, I read a story where he got $10,000 investment in the beginning. And that $10,000 was lost. He kept getting in the red for the first 10 years. This $1 billion business for the first 10 years was losing money constantly. You know what that required them to do? Think outside of the box. Come up with creative solutions. We think that we can't because we don't have any money. What the lack of capital does is force you to become more creative. Uber doesn't own cars. Airbnb don't own no properties, yet they are $1 million, $1 billion companies. Why? They had to think outside the box. They had to come up with creative solutions. And we're looking at people's end and forgetting there was a beginning to the end, and we're comparing our beginning to somebody's end. And I'm not saying you should compare your beginning to their beginning, but we need to do our research as we are building our businesses and start recognizing that lack of capital, not having any money in your business, is a blessing in the beginning. It is not a curse. It forces you to become more creative. It forces you to think outside of the box. It forces you to go deeper within yourself because you are, as the entrepreneur, gifted and the gift. As the entrepreneur, you are the gifted and you are the gift. So the answer is on the inside of you. It's within you. And if you had 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, $110,000, you think you would make the right decisions, but you actually may be copying and trying to duplicate what's already done because you're like, well, I have the capital. I might as well just buy whatever somebody else has, instead of tapping within yourself to come up with creative solutions that does not yet exist. Uber did not exist 10 years ago. Airbnb did not exist 10 years ago. We were not, as a people, saying, oh, I'm going to go to somebody else's house and pay them to stay in their house. We wasn't doing that. Ew, that was gross. We wanted to go to the hotel, the telly. We got mad songs about the telly. We was not trying to go to nobody's house and pay them to stay in their house. But this is what a big vision will force you to do. Get creative. It will force you to think outside of the box. It will force you to create things that do not yet exist. It will force you to even merge industries, right? But you have to start with a big vision. Number 3, a big vision makes you lean all the way into God. Listen, a big vision will have you, hallelujah, and worshiping and leaning on God and trusting on God because, and millionaires will tell you, right? Because there's so much that you don't know. There's so much that you can be taken advantage of. There's so many people, right, that's just out here, just scamming and doing whatever they want to do to take advantage of people that don't really understand or know, or whatever the case may be. And so having that big vision will force you to lean on a God who, 1, loves you, who, the second one, is good, and number 3, already knows the end result. He knows literally everything. And so a big vision will make you lean all the way into God because God is good. He loves you and he already knows everything. He knows the end. He knows the beginning. He knows the process. He knows everything. So having a big vision will allow you to lean all the way into the Creator. Will allow you to rest in his bosom. Will allow you to be comforted by him when things go bad. It will allow you to just lean fully on God. The one that knows all, sees all, hears all, who already has the answer, who knows the path that you need to take in your business, who knows who you need to talk to, who you need to connect with, who you don't need to connect with, right? When people are two-faced and they're saying, oh, I got your back, or oh, this is going to work out, or oh, I got you, I'm going to help you 100% guarantee. How many times have you heard that 100% guarantee and they ain't guaranteed nothing? Nothing ain't come about with the guarantee. But when you are able to lean all the way into God, regardless of the outcome, you know it is for your good. Having a big vision allows you to lean all the way into the God of the universe, your creator who loves you, who is good, and who knows all things. Number 4, a big vision says we imagine a world that doesn't yet exist. So you get to be, just like your Heavenly Father, the creator of something that does not yet exist. There was a time when the car did not yet exist. There was a time where this phone that I'm talking to you on did not yet exist, but someone had to have the audacity, someone had to have the creativity, someone had to have the courage to say, I'm dreaming of something that does not yet exist because it solves a problem. There's so many problems, and I know that I can come up with the perfect solution, and here they came up with it. We're able to connect with people all around the world at an instant because someone decided, I'm going to create a social media app. And then other people say, you know what? You got that. I'm about to perfect this thing. I'm about to make my own and make it better. I'm about to make it different. I got a vision too. One person's vision of a social media app ignited and sparked other people's vision. Right? So when we have a big vision, we are getting to create a world that does not yet exist. My children are growing up in a world where social media, technology, it's normal every day. They're born with phones in their hands. That didn't exist when I was a kid. Cell phones didn't exist when I was a child. I'm telling how old I am. But Steve Jobs and the other people who created the Nokia and Nextel, all of them, they imagined a world that didn't exist at the time that they were imagining that. And now we get to live in this. What will the next generation be able to live in that is currently in your mind? Or are you too afraid to bring that thing to life? Because you don't know how you're going to get to the next step. You don't know what the next step is going to look like. You don't know where you're going to get the resources from. They were not Steve Jobs and the Jeff Bezos and the Walt Disneys. They were not afraid. It takes courage to own that big vision because you get to create a new world for the next generation. We're sitting in the imagination come to life of somebody else right now on this app. The clothes that we're wearing is somebody's imagination come to life. My nails, somebody's imagination come to life. And it's solving a problem for us. Now, what ideas are sitting in your mind that you need the courage to bring it to life? By first just speaking it out, then leaning all the way into God so that he can help you manifest this thing. And no, it's not going to happen overnight. Like I said, your boy Jeff Bezos at Amazon was in the red for 10 years before he started making a profit. And that dude was like, no, I know I got something. I know. Netflix started off as a subscription DVD service. And look at how they have evolved. They did not quit. They did not stop. They did not give up. But they had a big vision, right? And you have to decide, am I willing to lean into the big vision that I have been given so I can see these things come to life? Or am I going to shrink back in 2025? Number 5. A big vision will scare some and it will inspire others. Some people gonna hate, some people gonna be like, nah, that's not gonna work. That's too big, or nah, that don't make any sense. I can't see it. No. And it will also inspire other people. It will draw people to you, where people are going to be saying to you, you can't give up. Like, this vision is too big for you to give up. I see what you see and I'm rocking with you. That's happened to me over the last year. And it's crazy to see it happen, because for so long I've been hearing, it's that little business, or maybe that's not going to work, or okay, I see you. All right, I got you. I'm supporting you. Okay, you still doing that? All right. And then this last year coming up, it's just like, oh, I see the vision. I got you. I'm with you. I'm rocking with you. Nope, you don't need to pay me. What can I do? Do I need to share? Do I need to like? I can send it. Like, that's the attitude people are having. Because I decided I'm not going to give up. I'm going to consistently keep telling people by the end of the decade, anyone that is in my community is going to be, any business owner in my community, we are leaving the decade as millionaires. I'm not leaving this decade without my millionaires. I'm not leaving this decade without my millionaires. So we're leaving the decade as millionaires. That means I only have 5 years left. That's huge. But I've seen people become millionaires in 3 years. I've seen people become millionaires in 5 years. I've seen people become millionaires in a year. Nothing is impossible for God. Nothing. Then number 6, because I told you I had 7 reasons why you need to become obsessed with having a big vision. Number 6, a big vision will require failure in many areas, many times. Y'all, a few years ago, I tried to get on TikTok and it was just terrible. I was not having the traction, the nothing. It wasn't working. I just was like, I guess this is not the app for me. And I left. And then a few months ago, I decided I'm going to come back. And ever since I decided to come back genuinely as myself, I have seen so much traction. I have seen so much growth, and I am just flabbergasted within a short period of time, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, how much growth I have seen on this app, where 2 years ago when I tried to do this, it didn't work. But that's what a big vision will require, is failure. And what we don't recognize is that failure is just data. When we fail, we're able to collect data in order to become successful, right? You don't become successful just by, oh, I'm winning every single time. It is the failures that you're going to encounter that will allow you to tweak some things, will allow you to make some adjustments, will allow you to collect the data, so that when you go to help other people, you can say, hey, don't make that step on the right. Don't go left. When you go past that light, make a left, not a right. Because if you make a right, you're going to fall in a ditch. That's what failure allows you to do. It allows you to come back and say, nope, I've done this way, and I know that it doesn't work. And I tell people all the time, when I'm working with my clients, especially coaches and consultants, and they fail in certain areas, I was like, great, wonderful. Because as a teacher, I know that I need to know not just all the ways that somebody can excel in a particular area. I need to know the pitfalls. I need to know where they're going to make these wrong turns and these bad decisions. If I'm teaching order of operations, right, I need to know the common mistakes that the kids are going to make, so that when they make it, I can be like, oh, that's just a common mistake. You should have did X, Y, Z instead of A, B, C. Or I can ahead of time say, hey, most people usually make this mistake. Don't you do this. I can warn them ahead of time. So failure is not necessarily a failure, especially when you are in the kingdom. No failure is a failure. Why? Because we're already walking from a place of victory. When God sends us into the marketplace, He's already put the stamp of winner on us. So we're walking into this thing as a winner. So even if we experience failure, it has nothing to do with our identity. We're going to fail our way to win. It has nothing to do with your identity as a business owner, as a winner, as a kingdom entrepreneur, as a Christian entrepreneur. Failure is not your identity. It is just something that you experience along the way so that you can collect data to help others as well. Because we're not just here as a kingdom entrepreneur, as a business owner who's a Christian who loves God, just to make money. We're actually here to glorify God. And in making money and in creating jobs and in all the things that we're doing, we're going to be glorifying God. So a big vision, when you have one, it will require failure. So when you fail, you better, I know what not to do again. I know where we're not going to go again. I know where we're not stepping again. Failure is a blessing. It is not a curse. And then lastly, number 7, one of my favorites and what I'm experiencing right now, a big vision will require a team. I know for many of us, as we're starting off our businesses, we are the solopreneur. So we are the accountant, we are the bookkeeper, we are the marketing specialist, we're the sales manager. We are the whole team. But as you begin to move closer towards the vision, you're going to require other people to step in and take their place. So one thing that I have learned when I first started business, I read the here it is, somewhere right here. Oh, the E-Myth Revisited, right? The Entrepreneur Myth Revisited. Oh my God, that book was so good. And I took away a few things from that book. And one of the things that I took away was creating an organizational chart, creating a flow chart where each of your departments are already organized from the beginning. You don't have to wait until you have 6 employees to create this organizational chart. You can create the chart now where you are doing all of the jobs, and just as the person comes in, you start filling in those spots. And let me tell you, I created that in the beginning and then put it to the side like, oh, okay, I got you. I'll be back. And then for 2 years past, I still was doing all of the positions. Year 3, I started seeing certain people and I was just like, okay, God, should I hire them now? He's like, yep. And those positions started being filled one by one. So now in my 3rd year of business, I actually have employees. I actually have people who are working with me, right? So I say my employees work with me and not for me. It's just a little simple language thing. I like it. They love it. I'd rather have somebody working with me. And even though I'm paying them, it's just still, kind of like it makes you own and take more responsibility for your position as opposed to you working for me and you got to do what I say. No. We're working together, so there's input. So having a big vision will require a team. You will not be able to express this big vision all by yourself. You will not be able to manifest this big vision all by yourself. A team will be required, and you're going to be able to see certain things. And having that team is so wonderful because you're not going to have to be the expert in everything. You can just dial down and focus on the one or the few things that you are well versed in. I am phenomenal at teaching. I am phenomenal at encouraging leading leaders. And so anytime that I have someone that can step in and take the role of administrator or take the role of salesperson or take different roles where I know that I am not phenomenal at, it now releases me to flow more fully in my zone of genius. And so this is why it's so important to have a big vision in 2025. Why it's so important to cast that vision now and not wait for January 1 to be like, all right, let's start the vision board. No, let's start it now. So that when January comes, we can already have this momentum of running. We'll already have the momentum of running in our businesses. We won't have to create the momentum and then slow down, 2-3 weeks later. We will already have created a stride. We'll already have gone through those blocks that normally come after 2 or 3 days. We'll already have dealt with all of those. So by the time January comes, we'll be running while everybody else is stopping, okay? So I'm super happy for all those people that joined me live on today. I'm so excited that I got to meet each and every one of you guys. And listen, I will be here tomorrow at 8 a.m. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about unlocking your why. You heard what I talked when I said start with your why, right? We're going to be unlocking that why. Why is it so important to have a big vision connected with a big purpose? Fusing those two, man, you're going to create a momentum that, baby, ain't nobody going to be able to stop you. So have an amazing, wonderful day. Again, thank you for joining me. My name is Natalie Lee Martin, business life coach. I am the founder of the Clarity to Execute Academy, and I do have my academy open now. There's spots available as well for March 2025. But I just wanted to come on here just to encourage us for the next 25 days of vision and victory, right? I want you guys to do well in your business. I don't want people to quit. I want to see people show up more resilient in their business and get the results that they have always been dreaming of. And that's my goal, to help you win big in business and in life. Have an amazing day. Bye.